Hello, everyone, and good morning and good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for joining our Webgility product tour of Unify today. Your presenter today is myself, Allegra Mitchell, and I am the lead of the customer success team here at Webgility. I've been with the company for a very long time, and I've seen our products mature and grow, and it's great to speak in front of you today and show you around the Webgility Unify product. Here's our agenda for today. I'll talk a bit about what we are and what we do as a company. I will introduce you to what Unify does and how it will help your business. Then we'll go right into the product tour and explore several areas that are important and relevant to your business. Then we'll go into our Q&A portion. If you have questions during the presentation, please feel free to submit them in the questions area of your Zoom interface. And again, all questions will be addressed during our Q&A time. And I'll also tell you how to contact our business advisors to get a more detailed or personalized demo of the Unify product and how to sign up for a trial. I would also like to mention that this webinar will be recorded, and we will send you the slides and a link to the recording after the webinar. So you don't need to take heavy notes, and you can focus on listening and seeing the product. So let's get going. So a little bit about Webgility. At the fundamental core, what we do, we make businesses easy to sell online, and we make things easier for online sellers. We're founded in 2007, and we have a global team of over 100 employees with offices in both San Francisco and Indore, India. And we support thousands of customers. Our support team has a 98% customer satisfaction rate, and in the industry we have, and we are continuing to build strong partnerships with everyone, with all of the other companies within our vertical. So this is our integration page. As you can see, we have over 100 integrations, but this is a representation of a lot of our popular integrations here. Webgility Unify integrates seamlessly with over 100 partners across sales channels, marketplaces, shipping providers, inventory providers, and payment processor platforms to pull in all of that operational data into your accounting system. And some examples of online stores, we have here WooCommerce, Shopify, Magento, BigCommerce, Volusion, marketplaces. You'll recognize these names here, Amazon, eBay, and Etsy. These are the accounting systems that we integrate with. And here at the bottom are the shipping and inventory and payment processor partners that we have that you can integrate within the Unify product. And our customers love us. And through those 100 integrations, Webgility has become the #1 back office application for small to medium-sized businesses in e-commerce. And here's some of our customers here, and it's really great to see these customers on this presentation, as myself and my team have worked with these clients personally, and it is great to see their business continue to thrive with our software. So I'm going to take you through some pieces of what Unify can do before we get into the actual product tour. Webgility Unify lets you connect operations. Now, when we say operations, we're really kind of talking about operational data. We're talking about sales data, SKUs, customer data, expenses from marketplaces and payment processors. And it takes that information from all of those stores and marketplaces and pulls that information into one application, one dashboard, so you can track everything, including online orders, inventory, shipping costs, all in one place. Unify also lets you sell on multiple channels. Now, when we talk about multi-channel selling, we're talking about multiple online platforms. So if you have a WooCommerce store and an Amazon, or a Shopify point of sale plus an eBay, or if you're selling on, all of those channels plus Square, that is, and you're integrating all of that within Unify, that is example of a multi-channel selling environment. So we're able to take that information. You're able to easily integrate all of those multiple sales channels and list new products across your many sales channels, which saves you a huge amount of time and improves your productivity. It also automates your operations and your workflows through our automation tools. And this automation tool really helps hone in on the reduction of inefficiencies from errors and also from manual creation of these transactions within your accounting system. And when I get more into the product tour, I'll go into depth as to how and what Unify is able to automate for you. Unify also gives you powerful analytics or data insights so that you can make smart decisions and focus on growing your business. All of these connections and data points are encompassed into a single platform, and every piece of information Unify can see is actionable, and it results in manifesting that information in the accounting system. You know, as e-commerce sellers, we're very cognizant of how efficient we're being with our time, our operations, our staffing, and the money that we're spending on our entire operation. And that efficiency is one of the greatest benefits our product can help e-commerce sellers with. So that is one of the main points that Unify is able to assist e-commerce businesses with, as you can see from this lovely representation of an entire cycle of fulfillment here. Before we get into the product tour, I want to actually jump into some polling questions. This will definitely help me know who you are and what we're working with here. So one of the first questions we have is, what is your accounting system? This is one of the core essential pieces that you need for Unify. You must have an accounting system. As you know, we integrate with QuickBooks Pro, Premier, Desktop, all the desktop versions of US versions of QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online. We also integrate with Xero. So I'm seeing a flurry of answers here. Thank you for your participation. I'll keep it open for just a moment. Let's see, closing the polls in right about now. Great. So I see a lot of you are using QuickBooks. Now, whatever flavor that is, can be, as I mentioned before, QuickBooks Desktop, Pro, Premier Enterprise, QuickBooks Online. I see a few of you using Excel and another few of you using something called Other. So for you, for those of you who are using Excel or Other, let's say, this is a really good point or a really good starting point for you all to see the benefits of how our product, when it connects to an accounting system, the type of information it can give you. Now we have another polling question. Thank you for your participation. The other polling question is, what is your average monthly order volume? So the monthly volume, we're going to launch this poll now. So this is a really good aspect in terms of, how much volume you're doing. It's very important for you to know as an e-commerce seller. Also kind of include a little bit of your, when you have your high volume time, you can, adjust for that. I'm seeing a really good range here of a lot of volume. So this is really good. Depending on the type of subscription that you ultimately end up purchasing, we can have, we also have kind of volume things that lock into that. So I'm going to have it open for a few more seconds and closing the poll now. Okay, great. So I'm saying a lot of you have, a lot of you are between kind of like 1,000. I see a few outliers of 10,000. That's awesome. So our really super high volume type e-commerce business is good. And I'm really actually seeing in terms of the data an overall nice concentration all up and down the range. So it's really great to have you all here. I do think that Unify can really hit on your needs in terms of your volume and how much data and the frequency that we're putting into the accounting system. So it's great to know that you guys are in the right place. All right, so which brings me to my next point. We're now going to go into the product. I'm really excited to show you this product and show you what Unify can do for you. All right, we're in the product. So this will be a high-level overview of, Unify's ability to connect to accounting systems and synchronize data, also order management, inventory sync, analytics, and automation. So what I'm actually showing you right now is the Connections tab. And the reason why I like showing the Connections tab first is because I do talk a lot about, Unify integrates with, over 100 connection points. But I want to actually show you a lot of those connection points here. So as you can see, I'm connected to my accounting system here. I'm connected to QuickBooks Online. And in terms of sales channels, as you can see, I am a multi-channel seller. I have a Shopify store and an Amazon store. And if I wanted to add another sales channel, I just want to show you the spread of the various sales channels that Unify integrates with. So here is kind of the whole gambit of that. I just wanted to show you that. Also, I did mention that we integrate with payment processors here. Here are the different payment processors that that Unify can integrate with: PayPal, Stripe, Shopify, and Square. And Unify can capture those payment processors' costs associated with the online order fees. And also we have shipping tools. So these are the shipping partners that we currently integrate with, and we during this integration we're able to capture the shipping costs associated with shipping the orders from the sales channel. So this is a very important aspect. As you know, as e-commerce seller, there is a difference between how much a customer pays for shipping and how much it costs you as the merchant to ship out the order. So it's a very, very important data point because within your shipping operations, it's really supposed to, that variable cost between is really supposed to pay for itself. So all of the materials and things that you use for shipping out a product really should come from that variable cost, and you want to make sure your variable cost is high enough that you're not kind of losing money when you're shipping. So that's a very important aspect to take into account as an e-commerce seller. So Unify makes it very easy to connect your sales channels with your accounting system and has a flow specifically to help you accomplish that. So the next area that I want to take you to are our settings. And here's our settings page. And in the settings page, it allows you to configure Unify to match with your current accounting and operational practices. You can create different settings for each of your sales channels, payment methods across your business. So in the for example, in the accounting settings area, this is where you set up how you're creating transactions within your accounting system. If you have multiple channels, you can create settings for each individual channel. And so you're able to create transactions with this area here. Also, Unify is able to, you're able to tell Unify how your products are identified, how your customers are identified, how are you setting up your taxes within your accounting system, and also how to handle refunds. The missing item area, so this item creation settings area here, this is an area where it's talking about how we're identifying your products. After you tell Unify how your products are identified, you can also tell Unify how to create products that aren't in your accounting system but are actual products within your orders, and how to handle the creation of those missing products in your accounting system. Now for the automation. So here's the automation area, and depending on how much volume you have and how much data you need to manifest in your accounting system, these automation settings can really help that. So I know this is why we asked that question during the poll. What is your order volume? If you are if you've got low amount of orders, I don't want to say low orders, if you've got, less than 1,000 a month, or even less than 500 a month, automation is still going to be really good. You can, here's the automation in terms of synchronizing orders. You can do that, and you can have individual transactions. Now, if you're a high high volume seller, you may want to consider consolidating your transactions. So if you've got 10,000 orders a month, 5,000 orders a month, even at 3,000 orders a month, I think consolidating your transactions into a single transaction and putting that information in the accounting systems really helps you track not only product frequency, it really helps you kind of clump everything by day, because when you get into a high volume type of situation, you're really trying to ensure that you're on task day to day. Also within consolidation, if you have, combined with multi-channel, high volume, instead of creating individual customers in your accounting system, you can create a standard customer that's branded for the e-commerce channel that is being used. And if you don't have a standard customer, Unify can create one for you. So so you can also sync orders automatically and create those individually in addition to consolidation. As I mentioned, you can also synchronize inventory, synchronize refunds, and if you're connecting to Amazon or eBay, you can automatically sync the marketplace fees as well. So we try to synchronize enough information automatically so that you can focus on growing your business. And so I also wanted to mention about marketplace fees, like those of you who are selling on Amazon or eBay. Marketplace fees are naturally consolidated, and they're posted automatically through automation based on your settlement end date. So as you know, the end date is a very important bookend for those of you who are trying to synchronize your fees for Amazon and eBay. So we provide that clarity within Unify, especially when you're setting up and setting up the marketplace fees here. And also we provide that clarity with the automation in general by sending you emails based on what has been automated for the previous day. After you take the time to configure these settings, we can move over to the homepage dashboard area. But just want to mention that all of these settings are available for you to configure and set up during the trial. That's why I think, we make it extremely easy for you not only to connect your accounting system and connect your sales channels, but we also make it easy for you to set things up. So, 15 days is plenty of time to do as much testing as possible within the Unify interface. So now that I've shown you around the settings, let's actually go into the home page and see what everything looks like in a unified area. So this is the Unify dashboard, or the home page area. And from the homepage area, Unify gives you a unified view of all of your connection points in your e-commerce business. So showing kind of yesterday's sales velocity. So from here, I can actually see that in my sales area for yesterday, I posted about 13 orders. So that's complete. But I still have a couple refunds that I haven't posted yet. I might likely do that later on in the day. So once I complete all my refunds, I'll have a complete posting for yesterday. So this is a really good way that the dashboard provides insights as to what's going on. We also have, some activities here, so you can see the activity, how many orders that Unify has gotten, because we do download orders automatically for you. You don't have to press any buttons for that. Unify does that innately within itself. So this is able to really give you a breakdown per sales channel, the status of the accounting sync. So now that I've shown you around this dashboard area, let's actually go into the Sales tab and show you what these orders look like within the Unify interface. So here's my orders area. And as you can see, it shows all of the orders real time from across your sales channels. So as I mentioned, this is I'm in a multi-channel seller situation here. So as you can see, I'm showing all of my orders in the context of both of my stores. If I wanted to just see one of my channels, I can easily uncheck this box and just isolate on one. But this is also the reason why we show all of these is because this really hits on in the core of the unified view. The more and more sales channels you have in here, the more and more information you can manifest. And you can this information is manifested in real time across all of your different channels. So you can filter. This is a nice filter by store if you just want to see, just isolate on one. As you can see, we organize things, and here's your order numbers, the dates. If you hover over the order number, you can see a kind of a summarized view of what you have, so you don't have to click into it. You can just kind of spot check it there. We're able to show the customers, the order status in the online store, the total, and also the net. So this is nice for users if you're utilizing fees or trying to calculate fees. As you know, there is a difference between the total that an order has, the total cost of an order versus the net that you get from all of the fees that the payment processor or the online sales channel, if that has fees innately in it, kind of like Shopify, take out. So that's why we give you a dual view of what is your total and what is your net. So this is also a very important aspect. It's also able to show the synchronization status. So as you can see, I've posted a few of these orders here. And if I hover over the green check mark, I can see added information of when I sync this, the sales receipt, and to what accounting software I'm using. So this is a really good, and so this is again a nice good spot check for whoever is utilizing the product day to day. We also give the ability, these are the kind of the functions that we have, or the actions that we have within Unify. We also have an undo sync here. So as you can see, I sync that canceled order here. I can easily undo sync that. I'm like, oh, that's a mistake. That shouldn't go in my accounting system. So I can always undo sync that. So we always have areas here, just in case you make a mistake, you can always undo it. All right, so the next area we're going to move to are the refunds. So we display refunds in Unify in a similar way we display the orders. Here is the order number, here's the refund number, the date that the refund occurred, and the order status and the amount. And here is, again, the green check mark for synchronizing this. So this is my one refund that I synchronized to my accounting system. The next area I want to show you is the items tab. So we have two different ways of looking at items. The first way is remember I mentioned in the settings area, you're able to set up how Unify identifies your product. And this is extremely important because this is, Unify likes to, in terms of looking at the products, determining how a product is expressed in your sales channel versus how it is expressed in your accounting system. And this is really the beginning, or the foundational beginnings, of inventory management within Unify. As you can see, we're able to display information about these products. Here's the SKU, the item name, the store that I'm looking at, and the quantity. So I'm looking at products in context of my QuickBooks. So this is the quantity of these items that I have in my QuickBooks and the prices that I have in my QuickBooks. Similarly, in my sales channel, I can see the inverse. These are my products in my online store, the product name, and it will also show, the price and the quantity of those products within your online store. And you also have some actions. If the nomenclature of your product in your online store doesn't match the nomenclature of its corresponding product in the accounting system, we can always map that here. So mapping kind of forces the Unify integration to recognize a product as the same thing, even though it may be expressed in two different ways. So that's kind of a little high-level discussion of mapping. And I know that there's going to be future webinars where we actually go into depth about that, and I can show you that. So stay tuned for that. The next area I want to show you is the inventory section. So I like to talk a lot about how Unify identifies the products, and once you solidify that identification, then this out of sync area becomes even more actionable. And again, all of this can be automated too. So when we're looking at something that is out of sync, we're really referring to either the price or the quantity between a product and how it's identified, and what those numbers are between the store and QuickBooks. So anything in red is not matching, anything in black is matching. One of the most important fundamental areas here is to really establish that master location for your inventory. So if your master location for your inventory is QuickBooks, which is really kind of most common with our general users, and so QuickBooks, if they're doing inventory adjustments, it's happening in QuickBooks, and they're looking for Unify to take those adjustments and put them into the online store and adjust the quantities or adjust the prices. Most commonly, users are likely trying to adjust the quantity. That's really where the sweet spot is. And so you can do that easily. We make it really, really easy. I know I mentioned you can do this via automation, but a lot of our users, especially when they go through the onboarding or they're just really starting with the trial, I really like for them to do this manually so they understand what the automation is doing. So one of the first things about synchronization is, what do you want to sync? Okay, most commonly quantity, and to update what location. If my master location of inventory is QuickBooks, then I want to update my online store. If my master location is my store, which is also, a lot of clients, I've seen clients that do that as well, then you want to update your QuickBooks. So we make this really easy. You select the item and you just, decide what you want to sync and what you want to update, and you hit confirm, and boom, there it goes. So I like for clients to kind of do this manually so they feel like they have control over what data is being synced, how something is being synced, and then once you're comfortable with that process, turn on the automation and everything will be perfect. And you'll know exactly what it's doing and why. So this is also one of the benefits of Unify and its automation processes within the product. So next, I'm going to bring you to the analytics page. This analytics area is one that excites me the most, and I really, really like this area. I've always been a very big fan of analytics, and we as a company, are a big fan of analytics. So it's really great to be able to put this information in here. Now, the Unify analytics page displays in-depth data that gives you a more cross-channel visibility into your finances, inventory, and customers. As you can see, Unify breaks down, total sales revenue. This is, as I mentioned, I'm a multi-channel seller here. So this is combining all of the integrations that you connect, especially in regards to your sales channels, all pop in on here, on this sales channels area. So it's able to break down sales revenue, total orders, volume, tax, shipments, all the big pieces of data that tend to, when you're in a multi-channel kind of context, tend to be really cumbersome and really challenging to get all together in one place. So we're also able to see how much shipping revenue you connected. This is also in context of all of the sales channels you connect to Unify. It also, I just want to kind of bring you tour this area here. It also identifies your best-selling SKU. This is always fun, and your trending products across all of your sales channel. So these metrics can be used if you're running a campaign or starting a new channel, or you want to assess your volume during your busy season and know what have you been selling during your busy season, and also the impact of those particular products across all of your sales channels that Unify is connected to. Next, Unify actually shows you a map of where your orders are being shipped and where your revenue is coming from. So I particularly like these two. So sales products by region, and also sales by region. So this gives you a good insight as to where your vertical is, where your niche market is, who's buying from you, and in what state. So I always find that this is a really nice a map to look at. It gives you a good idea of what market presents the best opportunity to grow your business, and also minimize your fulfillment and shipping costs as well. Unify, through this analytics area, also tells you who your top customers are, and also shows, you know, what your customer retention rate is in terms of new versus returning customers here. So this is a really good chart, especially during your high volume. You can combine this information with the information by the sales and region if you're running a campaign, and really get a good sense of not only where someone is buying, but are they new customers? Are they returning customers? How is your customer loyalty? And also how aggressive are you acquiring new customers? So that's really good insights there too. Finally, Unify also shows you which inventory you're running out of and what SKU contributes to most of your profit margin. So, you know, a lot of really good high-level analytics at a business. So also, I want you as e-commerce sellers to remember the time where you had to log in to all of your channels and get all of this information, put it on some kind of Excel spreadsheet, get those numbers, make some kind of pivot table that you would have to maintain maybe on a monthly, daily, quarterly type view, and really work really hard just to get those numbers and get some kind of insight, and then kind of assess, okay, what is this telling me in context of my entire business? You know, you don't have to do that anymore. This is the power of Unify, bringing all of this information into one place. So think about that as an e-commerce seller. This is really kind of hitting home the aspect of how Unify can really help you as an e-commerce seller understand where things are coming from, how you are doing, where you need to kind of put more money into or expand your operations. This is the power of Unify. So, you know, this is a nice little recap slide. As you can see, Unify reduces the effort and inefficiencies through all of its functionality by helping you automate. We went over the automation portion. So it helps you automate your busy work, you know, busy work meaning manually creating those transactions or customers into your accounting system, and really helping you save time so you as e-commerce sellers can focus on growing your business and focus on really, you know, making sure that you've got the right niche, that you've got the right products at the right time. So this is and Unify, and also within the automation, we send you that email every morning. So at the beginning of the day, you get a lovely email telling you what Unify has automated to help you plan your day and to know, okay, what is the scope of things, not only for the day, but for the continued, you know, you're continuing your processes that you have in your business. So as I mentioned before, everything in the product tour is available for you to try during your 15-day trial. We give you all the bells and whistles of the Unify product, so you can properly evaluate what settings and integrations you can utilize that are most applicable to your business. So since we give you all those bells and whistles, it's also important you can always, you know, if you have any questions about what you're doing, our support team is never far away. You can always chat with our support team within our product. You can also call or email, but you know, it's great to chat while you're in product so you don't break your concentration in terms of what you're doing and what context you're setting things up in. Also, you can always contact our sales team for a more detailed demo, and also while you're evaluating a lot of these features, they're going to really be a good point of contact for you as you're trying the trial, so you can understand what features are going to go best with what subscription. Since we give you everything, it's really your time to evaluate what you need, what don't you need, where is Unify going to fit in your overall e-commerce operations and order fulfillment process. So that's a really important aspect of the trial, and also contacting our sales team. All right, so we are at the Q&A time here. So I've got a lot of questions here. Thank you. Don't be shy. I do enjoy answering questions. So let's see what we've got. The first question here, the first question is about, I think, let's see, QuickBooks Online connects to ShipStation. Is there any advantage of having Unify between QBO and ShipStation, or is it redundant? I think this is a really great question to ask. You know, when you're connecting the accounting system or QBO directly to ShipStation, it's important to understand, okay, what is it putting in the accounting system? Is it putting in your inventory? A lot of the times when you have those connection points, you know, inventory is like, you know, a standard product. It's not lining up with the products that you have within your accounting system. I do think that Unify's ability to see not only the products that are in your accounting system, but that are coming in from your orders and how those things line up, I think that is one of the fundamental pieces of why I think Unify is best to connect to ShipStation and QBO. Another word about the ShipStation connection and Unify's connection to ShipStation, let's say you've got a couple channels within ShipStation that Unify doesn't currently connect with, but because we connect with ShipStation, we can get that information into Unify, and we call that a subchannel. So not only can we get, you know, get data from connection points we don't connect to natively through a ShipStation integration or Shipping Easy integration, we're also able to combine that with the calculation of the shipping costs that it costs you as a merchant to ship something out through ShipStation. So, you know, the connection point between Unify, QBO, and ShipStation is very rich in terms of the data. So great question. Thank you. I've got another question. Let's see. How secure is Unify? How is data protected, and have you had any security breaches? I think that's a great question in this day and age. Everyone is really focused on security. Unify is secure. It is on a secure server. That information that is being pulled between the online store and Unify itself is also secure. You know, if we're integrating with some PHP carts like Magento, and you need you know, to install a Webgility store module, even that component has its own security measures within it to make sure the data that it's transmitting between the sales channel and Unify is also secure within that transmission. And as of date, as far as I know, we have not had any security breaches within our Unify system. So it is a very secure system. We've got great engineers ensuring that we stay on top of security so we can keep that data for use. Okay, thank you. Great question. Let's see. Another question, how often does it sync? How often does it pull in the data, and how often does it dump the data in QuickBooks? Great question. Unify innately, constantly, you know, automatically downloads information from the store. So in terms of how many, like how often, it's perpetual. So it's perpetually able to download information. Now, in context of how often does it post information, that depends on how you want to automate. So if you do automation, it will take in all of your orders of the previous day, and it will automate that in the evening. So the time where you're offline and you're not in the product and it's not, you know, getting in the way of your day. So it does that nightly, or if you're doing things manually, it's really at your leisure as frequently as you would like it. All right, good question, good question. Oh, this is another good question. QuickBooks Online versus QuickBooks integration, what's best? Really, this is about you. It's about what you're currently using. Are you on QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise? I know Enterprise has a lot of, you know, high-level reporting, inventory locations, different currency type of things within QuickBooks Enterprise. So Enterprise itself, or the QuickBooks Desktop has different flavors or different functionalities that you as a business, if you like to use those and you need to use those, continue to use those. QuickBooks Online is also a really good tool. Intuit is really starting to improve the QuickBooks Online functionality, especially in regards to taxes. So they're really trying to bring it on par with the desktop product, but really in terms of the accounting system, it's whatever works best for your business. Sometimes, if you're a small business starting out, enterprise may be too much. That's okay. If you want to be in the cloud, always in the cloud, it's easier for you to do that. QuickBooks Online is good. So it's really all about you. What best benefits your business? What are the features that scale within the accounting system that are really going to lock into what you need? And if you go on the Intuit website, they really have a good breakdown as to which accounting system should I choose. And, they've got reps on the phone that are able to answer your questions there about which one to choose. So great question. Let's see. Just to reiterate, we will be sending a video and the slides of the presentation after it's over. Great question. Let's see. I've got another question. Does Unify just move data, or does it help improve the profit margins? I think this is a really good strategic question, actually. This is kind of a two-part answer. So Unify does move data, that is its main function. Now, in terms of improving the profit margins, this is a combination of looking at some of the analytics within Unify itself, combined with some of the reporting that you can utilize within your accounting system. I know that a lot of users like to use classes, especially when they get into multi-channel. So looking at the profitability by class report within QuickBooks is a really good way of assessing what is your profit margin. Profit margin is also assessed in terms of cost. Are you putting a cost with your items within your accounting system? You're able to measure that cost price versus sale price, and also look at the frequency of sales that you're getting to really, at the end of the day, ask yourself, is this product profitable for my business? Unify is able to kind of get a big portion of that data, and of course that data is a combination of multiple data points and insights. So that is something that within the trial you can definitely analyze. So really, really great question there. Let's see. Another question about consolidation. I think this is really good. Here's a question. When you consolidate sales orders or sales order items in Unify, what happens to some of the product analytic loss? The thing about the analytics is kind of twofold. The analytics is looking at the frequency of information from your store, and it's getting its insights from the products in your store, the orders in your store, the shipping costs, taxes in your store. So at the fundamental area of it is looking at the data in your store. Now, the consolidation of that information into the accounting system, this is where the data begins to clump up. So for example, let's say in a day you have a couple products, or let's say you've got about 50 orders. Within 50 of those orders, you've got 16 of the same product. When we consolidate that information, we're able to say that SKU quantity equals 16. So you'll still be able to see how much information, or you'll be able to detect that inventory reduction of that particular product once we put the transaction within the accounting system. But so that is, in terms of the consolidation, that's what happens in the accounting system. But in context of the analytics, it's really looking at the core data, or the raw data, I should say, coming from the online sales channel. So great question. Let's see. Another question. We get this a lot during our onboarding sessions. Here's the question. Can you direct an item to be charged to a different revenue account than the item is mapped for in QuickBooks? Now, this is where we start to kind of, we really kind of need to line up our data points. So as you know, a product, when you create a product in the accounting system, if it's an inventory product, you have to assign it to an inventory asset and account. That asset account is locked in or attached to that particular item. So when the order has that particular item in it and Unify puts that information into or manifests that information as a transaction into QuickBooks, it sees that item, and that item, of course, is attached to an asset account. That asset account, that is something that you attach to the item. I think this may be a question of, when we're talking about revenue accounts, you should really ensure that the products that you have are attached to the right revenue account within your accounting system. You don't want to go switching that out, because that's really, again, how you're going to tell where your profit margins are, by looking at those particular revenue accounts. Now, this could also be a question of, can you map, an item to a different item at the time it's posted into the accounting system? I could take that in context of that. So one thing about the mappings is that you can map kind of in two different ways. You can map all in kind of one batch, like I showed you when we looked at the products in context of the online stores and QuickBooks. You can map in that context, or you can map within the context of, let's say, you're manually posting to QuickBooks because you want to feel like you have that control, which is a good thing before you turn on the automation. So you can map at the time you're posting the order into QuickBooks. Mappings are solid. Once you map something once, it is mapped forever throughout, so if there are any additional orders for that mapped item, it will automatically see the mapping that you've done. You can always delete mappings or break mappings, but you want to ensure that the products that are being sold in your online store, you've got an identifiable corresponding twin for the product in QuickBooks. That's really how to keep the data clean, and that's also how to really make sure the data that is going into your accounting system is as correct as possible. And also, when you're running those reports within your accounting system, you want to know that the data that you're running for that report directly corresponds with the information from your store. Good question. I know that was kind of a long-winded answer on that one. Another question here. Ooh, I like this. So we've got taxes. The question is, does sales tax only show up as an item on QuickBooks, or can it populate the sales tax cell or field? This may be a question in regards to sales tax item. This may actually, because this question is asking about the sales tax cell or field, I think this question is really in context of QuickBooks Desktop. So we're talking Pro, Premier, Enterprise here, and we're also talking about this question is really asking, is it showing the tax as a line item on the transaction, or is it hitting that sales tax liability in that drop down on the transactions that you see in QuickBooks? So one of the things that Unify does, or makes easy, is it creates the sales tax and has it as a line item on the transaction. This is both for individual transactions or transactions that are created via consolidation. So it does hit the line item. I know that in our one of our higher plans within Unify, if you have or are collecting taxes in different states and have set up those tax items within QuickBooks, we're able to kind of configure, well, in this state of California, use this tax item. In this state of Washington, use that tax item. But again, we are able to show the tax item as a line item. So within QuickBooks, if you're trying to show your tax liability, you can always do a report and isolate on that particular tax item and maybe save that report, or that would likely be the report that you would use. So great question. Any other questions? I have this question here. We get this a lot. What's the best platform to use? And, this question always makes me smile because, at Webgility, we do have over 100 connection points, 100 integrations. But however, we are very neutral. And oftentimes we get this question from a lot of clients when, they're trying to decide on what is the best platform for sales channel. At the end of the day, it's really all about you. I can tell you, our top 5 carts any day, all day. But it's really all about how that shopping cart, asking yourself, does that shopping cart give me what I want as a business? How flexible or how easy is it for me to learn how to, create products or, construct my store on the back end versus, do you need a developer to do this for you? Do you need something that is more robust, or able to, be augmented easily? So it's is really about what online channel works best for you as a business. The top 5 usual suspects are, of course, Magento, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce. Those are kind of, the big 4 in terms of, popular integrations we have within our user base. And of course, the most popular marketplaces, of course, Amazon and eBay. Etsy is there too. Walmart is also there as well. It's really, at the end of the day, it's really all about what shopping cart or what online channel really works best for your business. And so definitely take the time to evaluate. If you don't have an online channel, shop around, look at their app store. How many apps and widgets do they have? Do they have a robust community of developers or users? Is it easy for you to find information? How accessible is that information to you? Do you feel comfortable on that platform? So it's really all about you and what you as a business owner would like to see and would like to do. Another question. This is again about products here. If you have no products in QuickBooks Desktop and use Shopify product information to map into QuickBooks and keep that syncing, how do we change the cost price? So really this question is about, if I have all my products in my Shopify store, but I don't have anything in my QuickBooks, what am I going to do? So Unify, remember when I was in the settings area, and I was talking a lot about how products are identified. And once that identification happens, we can tell Unify, well, how to create products in the accounting system that are missing. So if you have products that are in your online store, but you don't have them in the accounting system, Unify can create those for you. Once Unify creates those items in your accounting system, then you can actually go into those products and assign a cost price. Of course, we will get the sale price. That's the easy part. But getting the cost price, that's something you're going to have to put in there. And then once you have added that cost price to the items that Unify has created through its creation of transactions in your accounting system, then you can start running those profit margin type of reports. So I think it's essential to know that, when Unify creates a product in the accounting system, we hit the sale price. But putting that cost price in there is absolutely essential for that. So great question. Just a few more questions. We're almost out of time. Let's see. Here's a good question. Also a really good segue into the next slide. The price jump between growth and standard is significant. Is there anything in the future that might fit in between those two plans? We are developing and adding new features into our our different flavors of products. And definitely, this would be a really good question for our sales team. You can talk to them and really kind of see what features are really essential for you to utilize, what plans that you should choose based on some of the features. So you can say, yeah, there may be a a large jump, but are there features in standard that are nice to have or super essential for you to have? And through that process, the sales, our sales team can really help hone in on just the overall, not only impact, but also the ROI you're going to save from utilizing those features. So Definitely try the trial. Get in there. It's totally free. It's 15 days. Go ahead and try it. Get your stores integrated. Get your connection points in there. Connect up your accounting system and really get in there and start to play. And then, you can always contact our sales team and talk with them to see if, you can, when you're speaking with them, if you're already doing the trial, you're really you're going to be speaking in context of what's best for you, and they're always going to advise you in terms of what's the best subscription based on what you're using. So give them a call, try the trial, and we look forward to having you as a client. Thank you very much for your time today, everyone, and thank you for joining this morning and afternoon. It was really great interacting with you, and I really do hope we see you all as clients and have you as clients and users of Webgility Unify in the future. So have a great day.